All right, so before we start, you're running for re-election?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Are you going to come on the podcast and do a debate on my show? Okay, you will. Because I had Manny on, and I only had him on for one reason. That was to ask him if he would debate you on my show.
Okay.
So I want to get the exclusive with the two of you guys.
Okay.
Okay. So I asked for this meeting and I asked for this interview because all over the country we're hearing the Democrat Party talk about these immigration raids and deporting illegal aliens. And I thought, what better person to ask about all this than the mayor of Lawrence? High Dominican population. We see every day on Facebook that the feds are in Lawrence arresting people, deporting people. So I wanted to know first what you thought about the federal government, the feds, ICE coming into Lawrence, rounding up criminals and deporting them. I know you're a lot more conservative than most people in your party, so I thought this would be a good question to start with.
I know the immigrant community, is the preoccupation now is that it's a high level, but I think 99% people the federal government follow is a criminal. If you see news in some time in different case, is somebody the federal ICE looking for somebody and ask you for document. If you don't have, take it. But that's not exactly ICE looking for good people, good person in the community. It's directed to criminal people, and that's good. That's good for community, because for many years, many people have a crime, have a bad record, and stay in the community. Now
So you're saying when ICE comes in, they're not just looking for people who are illegal, they're looking for criminals?
Yes.
And you support that?
I support that.
Can you say that in Spanish too? Because we have Spanish people who listen to my podcast. And I
Oh,
want them to hear
good.
it
That's
too.
good to know. No, hasta ahora en nuestras comunidades la mayoría de los arrestos que hace ICE han sido por agentes que han cometido crímenes, que se han escapado de la justicia, o sea, han evadido la justicia por muchos años. Pero ahora mismo no hay una política directa, no sé si cambiará, dirigida hacia los inmigrantes que están trabajando, que están haciendo bien en la comunidad, sino esa persona que tiene récord y que por muchos años han burlado el sistema, y eso yo creo que es tiempo de que eso haya cambiado. Yo felicito esa decisión del presidente de los Estados Unidos de dar con esa gente que cometen crímenes y se burlan del sistema.
That was a lot more words in Spanish than it was in English. A lot of people think Lawrence is a sanctuary city. Those of us who know Lawrence know it's not a sanctuary city. But it is a Trust Act city. Can you explain the difference?
The difference is when the city is sanctuary, don't provide any collaboration to the federal government. And the city of Lawrence the act is a friendly community about good immigrants, not crime. The act said is somebody have a record, criminal record, police department, local police collaborated to ICE or any federal institution.
So if someone's a criminal and they're illegals, Lawrence police can cooperate with the feds to help them be deported.
100%.
So what is it that makes it a Trust Act city? What does Trust Act city mean?
I know reviews because that's the city council approved many years ago, around 10 or 11 years ago, and I know review. But I remember when the city council approved, the city council explained, and the act very clear is not for support illegal crime. If you have a bad record, it's a federal ICE or FBI or any federal institution needs support for the city of Florida, the police department, local police department support. The local department police don't involve, and any issue, immigration issue, stop people. For example, if somebody driving and the people in case don't have license or the insurance, because now any illegal person have a right for take a Massachusetts license, but for a small case, the city police officer don't transfer any information to local violation, to traffic violation.
So I think you say.
But when you live, if you live in community, for example, in New Hampshire, no matter what reason, police officers stop you, the police department report to ICE.
Okay.
That's
But in Lawrence, it's only if you're arrested for a crime.
It's only if you are
I
arrested
see.
for crime. Yes.
So if the police pull someone over for a traffic infraction, they're not running.
No.
But if they're arrested for a crime, then they're reporting to ICE.
100%.
Okay. Because a lot of people are under the impression, outside the city, they're under the impression that Lawrence is a sanctuary city, including the criminals. A lot of criminals are getting arrested in Lawrence, and they're saying, but we thought this was a sanctuary city, because that's the perception.
No, that's from perception, because the act is very clear. I don't have it right now, and I review. I promise I review, but I remember when the city council approved. That's not the issue.
That was right before you got elected, I think, right? It was like the year before you got in.
Yeah.
How long have you won the council?
4 years, 2 terms.
2 terms, and now you've been mayor 4 years.
4 years.
So 8 years you've been in.
Yes.
Okay. When you went and you met with Governor Ayotte in New Hampshire, what did you guys talk about? What was that? What was that for?
About drug traffic and between Lawrence and Salem, Mass, and about the collaboration between police, the city of Lawrence police and Salem, and include the state police in New Hampshire, collaborated to keep more control about crime between.
You mean crime going over the borders?
Yes, in the border. That's more important. In the end, the meeting, I asked to her about in the future is New Hampshire create one opportunity for approved license for illegal immigrant, and she told me that's in this moment no, it's a very important issue for New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
The more important issue is about crime between Lawrence.
What do you think about driver's licenses for illegal aliens?
I think that's a good idea for one reason, because illegal immigrants anyway driving. Now, when you have one accident, if the people is illegal, if the people have a license, you have proof who driving the car, the guy have it, or the person have insurance, you know what address the immigrant illegal have it. But long time ago, when you have it, one accident, the accident involved one person illegal that disappeared because you don't have a record for address, who is the person now, but you have one face in one accident.
You know, you saw it almost feels like we're making national news here, because you don't sound like what the Democrat Party at the national level and the media at the national level paints someone like you to be. They paint everybody who is in favor of ICE coming in and deporting illegal aliens as these evil, right-wing, horrible people. And here you are, a Dominican immigrant yourself. You came here legally. You sat on the city council 4 years. You've been mayor for 4. If you get reelected, you'll get 4 more. You'll be 8 years mayor. And you don't seem to fit the stereotype that the media paints of the evil white supremacist who are the only people supporting ICE. How do you feel about that being a Democrat, that your party doesn't represent you and what you believe in all of this, and they're painting people like you to not be like you, right?
Yes, but it's funny because many immigrants in the United States uphold taxes, doing good in America. I think it's a minimum group doing crime, but I see many people came from Mexican, from Puerto Rican, illegal, and now serving to the nation, an army, Air Force, and create opportunity for another person doing business in America, And I'm good example, Well, I came from Dominican Republic 45 years ago, illegal. But I working hard. I created one family, and I create opportunity for another person, for many people. And exactly right now in my office, when you came a couple of hours ago, you see many people waiting for support, for attend American. I'm changing the face to the city of Lawrence, and many in the past, another mayor maybe not take it the right decision for move the city forward. And who did it? Who doing it in the moment? One immigrant. Yeah, because that's very important. It's very important to know the first immigrant doing American strong. It's not native. And that's very important.
I think my question is more about your party, the people who run your party, the Democrat Party, paint anybody who supports the deportation of criminals as white supremacist, racist, bad people. And here you are, the Dominican mayor of Lawrence, Dominican immigrant yourself, and you're telling me you support ICE coming in and rounding up illegal aliens who are criminals and deporting them. How do you feel about your party abandoning the people? Well, let me ask you, how do you feel about the party abandoning you and the people of Lawrence? The majority of the people in Lawrence believe the way you do, don't they?
Listen, I think that's the reason President Trump win in the past election, because include many Democrats that don't support political open border for everybody. The immigration in any country need regulation. Never you stop immigration. Somebody jumping the border.
Yeah.
But you need control. The problem is in the last 4 years, the immigration department listen what is his job, what is he compromise to the nation, and it's impossible you keep bottom open for everybody enter illegal. No, you need control, because if you don't have control, the bad people think back and say, oh, it's my opportunity for jumping and continue doing crime in America, because if you're doing bad in Guatemala, it's different when you're doing bad in America. For what?
What happens if someone from Haiti breaks into the Dominican Republic, illegally immigrates into the Dominican Republic? What does the Dominican do to illegal immigrants that come into the Dominican Republic?
Put in the box and put it back to Haiti.
They send them back to Haiti.
Yeah. That's a right. Every nation have it. Because illegal immigration is not bad, but it's not bad when you have control. But when you don't have control, it's bad, because that's the opportunity the bad people looking for jumping and continue doing crime.
Can you do that in Spanish, just quick?
Sí. Bueno, la diferencia entre todos los países es la misma. No hay diferencia entre la gente que quiere venir a trabajar al criminal que quiere cruzar la frontera para continuar su crimen y hacerlo más grande todavía aún de lo que son en sus países. Y yo creo que es un derecho que tienen todos los países de poner control. Entendemos que nunca se va a parar la inmigración ilegal. Ningún país va a poder detenerla al cero. Pero sí, la inmigración ilegal debe tener control. Porque es la manera que pueden evitar que los malos entren. Siempre van a entrar gente por donde no hay forma de evitar lo que entren. Pero con controles se evita que los malos entren y que puedan entrar inmigrantes. Siempre van a entrar inmigrantes buenos que cambian, que han cambiado los países, que vienen a aportar. Y como lo dije en el caso mío, yo fui un inmigrante que llegué aquí de manera irregular, me regularicé y aporté y sigo aportando a esta nación. Me he interesado en que esta nación siga creciendo, que sea grande, que sea fuerte y ayudar a otros, e incluso a gente que son norteamericanos, que nacieron aquí, que sus abuelos, su familia vinieron a este país. Entonces, esa es la diferencia entre esa inmigración, cuando es descontrolada, entran más malos que buenos, porque incluso le hacen daño en el cruce a los buenos que quieren venir a continuar a hacer este país grande y a ser un país libre como lo han hecho muchos inmigrantes en el pasado.
I hope we're getting all this. Is the red light on that recording? Oh, thank God. This is the best interview I've done with anybody in the last 10 years. No, I'm serious. So, with the state working so hard to keep illegal aliens here, even criminals here, is there a conflict between the government of Lawrence and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts whereby you support the feds coming in and deporting illegal aliens who are criminals, but the state is trying to keep them here? In fact, even judges are letting them out the back door. Is there a conflict between the city and the state?
No, I think that's not exactly the idea the state have protect a criminal. The political for the state is keep good immigrants, safety or continue support, but I don't think any good American resident or citizen have any interest in protect illegal immigrant crime. If you crime, you crime. Nobody support you.
But in Boston, they're supporting even the criminals. They're fighting against deporting the criminals.
Oh, that's news for me, because I think it's only support good resident, family and people doing good in Massachusetts.
Is it frustrating for you? There are so many homeless people in Lawrence, and the state is spending so much money housing illegal immigrants, but they're not giving money to Lawrence to help housing Lawrence citizens that are sleeping on the streets.
Listen, that's very complicated, because the state approved many $1 million for homeless. Now, in this moment, having many programs, but that's different. Big population homeless looking for support or looking for a house. I know the process is a little complicated, but you have to homeless because for any reason, lose a job or have a family problem, and you have another homeless like the street because use drug, doing bad, don't looking for support, don't looking for apartment. He don't care apartment. He don't care any program. You have two homeless.
Yeah, two groups.
Two groups, and that's very important. And but the state
they're spending billions of dollars on illegal aliens who just got here like 5 minutes
for
ago.
population,
Right.
for illegal immigrant and for homeless, because I receive a lot of funding for support homeless community.
Well, how come it never gets to the homeless? We see what the government says they spend on the homeless issue, but then you drive around Lawrence, it's not better than it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. In fact, it's worse. So where does that money go if it's not going to the homeless, the American citizens, the guy from the Dominican Republic who comes to America, his wife throws him out, he's living in the streets. The state is spending $1 billion on illegal aliens, but he did it right. He did it like you. And it doesn't seem like there's anything for him.
Yeah, you know what, Tom? I think only political need change. The political don't approve exactly the only population need. He need.
I don't understand.
Okay, you don't understand. The state have many programs, but don't when the people go to the program, when the people end the program, the state don't have another program for follow up.
Right.
You know, okay, the guy have a job, have a good job, have an apartment, have another opportunity. No, when the people end the program, the state forgot, don't follow. And
So that's my
the
question. My
and
question
people
is
return again
to the streets.
to the street.
Right, but so that's
the
my
problem.
question.
Because no opportunity.
The state's paying $1 billion for illegal aliens instead of shelters for the homeless in Lawrence, and then programs for once people get clean, once they get back on their feet, to help them pay for an apartment, to help them get a job training. It seems like all the money's going to people who are illegal, right? Because they want more people in Congress. The more people in Massachusetts, the more people we have in Congress, right? More Democrats we have in Congress. But you're dealing every day with 300 people on the streets of Lawrence who are homeless, many of whom are addicted, who need programs to get clean, who need programs to have a place to live, and the state's not giving you that money. Or are they giving you that money? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I told you. The program needs follow-up. When the people is clean, you know, when the people is clean, now the people come back to the street and have a protection for a good job, a quality house, and that's another problem, you know. But that's state level need maybe review the whole program.
Can you do that in Spanish?
Yeah. Bueno, mucha gente tiene el problema de que, como decía él, aquí hay dos homeless. Uno que son, e incluso a veces criminales, que no quieren, no le interesa ningún tipo de programa, ningún tipo de ayuda, lo que le interesa es estar en la calle. Y hay otros homeless que son homeless porque tienen circunstancias familiares, de trabajo, perdiendo su trabajo, perdiendo su hogar. Todo el mundo sabe el problema, la crisis que hay de vivienda. Y otra cosa que también explico bien clara es donde yo digo que los programas que hay solamente se preocupan porque la gente se limpie de la droga, pero hay que hacer algo más y darle seguimiento a esas personas que ya están limpias, de asegurarse que tengan una vivienda, que tengan un buen trabajo o un medio, por lo menos mínimo que puedan sostenerse, porque eso evita que vayan a la calle a buscar ayuda donde ellos sí en verdad conocen que pueden encontrar amigos, y la familia juega un papel importante en este sentido también, de darle ese support, de darle esa vigilancia, ese seguimiento después que nuestros adictos están limpios. Entonces, cuando podamos entender más los programas en ese sentido, de darle seguimiento, yo creo que vamos a poder reducir el problema. Mientras tanto, se van a limpiar y van a volver a la calle.
Does the city know how many illegals are in the city? Do you have an idea of like what the population is?
Increase and reduce depend, you know. Right now, 300 something.
300.
Yeah, 300.
That's it?
That's it.
You sure? I've heard-
Yeah, because
Seems like it's a lot more than that.
No, remember, Tom. Homeless move depend.
You're talking about homeless. I was talking about the illegals.
Oh, illegal. Oh, no. I don't have idea.
No.
No. I don't
But we know when kids go to the school system, right? We know which kids are coming in are not legal, right? They have no social security number, they're not legal.
Yeah.
Is there a way to get those numbers? Can we find out how many?
Not the problem.
Does the city know?
Oh, not the problem. You don't need, you know, when you brought your kid to the school, you don't need any documents, you know. You don't need social
Wait,
security. You
if
don't
a
need
kid
social
goes to
security.
if a
You
kid
don't
shows
have to-
up tomorrow at the Lawrence schools, they don't need any documentation?
No, need documentation. but no legal documentation. For example, you don't need a social security.
Really?
You don't need social security.
Wow.
You don't need any legal documents. Only your name, and that's it. And minimum required.
When
Birth certificate.
oh, birth certificate. When I lost my thought now.
You asked how many illegal immigrants are in the city, and then you asked about the kids that are going to school. Is there a way to keep track of how many students are illegal?
Crime. Has crime gone down? Have you seen crime gone down since Trump took office and ICE has come into the city? They're in every day. We see them on Facebook or somewhere, right? Have you seen crime go down in Lawrence over the last 5 months?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. 30%.
30%?
Yes.
Really? Because of the ICE raids?
Yeah.
And that's something that you're happy about. You're smiling.
Everybody, the whole community.
Right?
Yeah, the whole community.
So the Dominican community as a whole does support immigration, ICE coming in and deporting people who are criminals.
Support, yeah.
Because we have a couple of city councils who don't like that. They're all over Facebook every day complaining about that.
People complain when ICE, take it or the poor people and good people.
Yeah.
But crime, never you listen Dominican community complain because ICE take a illegal immigrant when the people have record crime. It's when the people is danger for the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's only the community not happy when ICE take a family, good people. People go to the school, church, or work.
Do we see that happening in Lawrence a lot? Is ICE picking up people in Lawrence that are not criminals?
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. In case, for example, I have a mother last Tuesday because every Tuesday people visit and don't need appointment, and she told me ICE knocking door, and when his son opened the door, asked for him. Listen, I'm looking for this guy. You know who? He said, oh no. He in this moment he don't stay at home. And ICE asked. He's sleeping in the bed, and ICE asked for his documents, and the guy said no. I'm in process. My wife submit my application for my resident. I send it to text. Yeah, and
So-
I listen couple of history. ICE looking for bad people and taking one person because no can find them.
Oh, so they're looking for the bad guy, but
Looking
they
for
find,
the bad
they
guy.
find other people
Yeah.
who want bad, but they're illegal.
Yeah.
They're taking them
Yeah,
too.
but I don't listen. ICE looking for directly one person. If the person don't have any record.
I see what you say. So they're not looking for people who want
Looking
criminals.
for bad people.
But if they find them, they're going to take
Oh yeah.
That's called collateral.
Yeah.
Well,
That's collateral.
yeah.
That's it.
What would you say to? Well, let me ask it this way: you just appointed a new police chief. As we're sitting here, the city council is downstairs voting on whether or not to
I
make
want to see this.
Morris Aguilar. So I'll wrap this up so you can watch the rest. But I'm a little curious about this because you had a personal problem with this individual, and a year ago you were on opposite sides of things, and now all of a sudden you're putting him forward as the police chief. Is he going to be? If he's going to get confirmed, we know the council's going to confirm him. That's a done deal.
You never know.
No, it's a done deal.
This is very political city council.
That's for sure. That's true. If he gets appointed, he gets the votes tonight. Will he be working with ICE? Will he be working with the federal government? Will he, as the chief, as a Latino chief, he speaks Spanish fluently, right? Will he be working with the federal government to deport criminals who are here?
His job is follow the regulation the laws, the federal laws, state laws, and the local charter, city charter.
Mhm.
You know, that's his job.
To work with the feds.
Any institution.
What about the people in Lawrence who don't like that? What about the people in Lawrence who are against ICE coming in and deporting anybody? There's a lot of them. I talk to them all the time. Half of them are in your city council.
You know, people have different perceptions. Sometimes depend what people ICE looking for.
Mhm.
Repeat again. I'm not happy. You're not happy when you have a good neighbor in ICE, you know, because it's a part of the community, you know. Many illegal people live in your neighbor, doing good. When you listen, oh, your good neighbor, ICE remove.
Mhm.
That's because you human,
Right.
You know animal. Only animal he don't care everything, but if you have good person, you know, go to the church every Saturday, and doing good, pay taxes, keep good neighbor, you know, like America, like your country. You're so proud, you know, you don't like it. But you're happy when ICE move criminal.
Right.
So happy.
You're happy. You look happy. Whenever I ask the
Everybody-
question, you smile.
Everybody happy because you have your country, you have your neighbor
Mhm.
safety when the government remove bad people.
But you're not using the police department.
Now because that's I think my perception that's not good because good immigrants, illegal good immigrants don't support when the police department needs information in the community. Good illegal immigrant keep up, don't trust police because the idea is maybe, you know, police department use every information to send it to federal government, and that's not good for the community.
Let me circle back to one more thing, then I'll end. When we talked about the homeless, you said that the state's not giving them the additional programs that they need. We have a homeless shelter in Lawrence, one. It's one of two wet shelters, which means if they're high or they're drunk, they show up, they'll still let them in, they'll still let them stay for the night. But that homeless shelter on Winter Street, the Daybreak shelter, only legally holds 44 people. They have 55 people every night. As you said, there's 300 homeless people in Lawrence. Why isn't the city looking to take one of the 400 abandoned buildings and deed it to Daybreak and let them accommodate, let them get grants, and let them accommodate the 300 people that are on the streets? And we know that not all of them will come in. We know some of them don't want to come out of the cold, they'll stay forever. But a good 70% of them will come in. Why isn't the city working with Daybreak to alleviate that problem when we all recognize the state's not doing it? The state's not doing these follow-up programs like they should.
Yeah, but the city don't have enough funding for keep that program a long term. Short term, maybe it's right, but you know, Tom, you and me know 80%, maybe more, homeless in the city of Loret is not resident from the city of Loret, came from another town. It's a good idea doing one shelter in Mandover, one in North Andover, maybe one in Methuen, and
You're still in my idea. You're stealing my
and
idea.
say that and divide,
Right.
because this is a small community. Methuen is maybe 10 times more big one to Lawrence. Have a lot of acres empty for doing great and nice and big Chester. That's it. Lawrence don't have an opportunity because it's only 5 or 6 miles square in the
But
city.
it wouldn't take funding though. All you would need to do is the city owns 400 abandoned properties in the city. How about just deed one of those properties over to the psychological center, Karina Papalato, and let her get the funding and let her fix it up and let her turn it into a shelter. But she doesn't have the building. She just needs a building. And so we see the frustration with the state spending money on the illegals and they're ignoring the people on the streets, and Lawrence doesn't have the funding for it, but Lawrence certainly has the resources. They have the buildings.
No, Lawrence don't need another building. It's another community because the many homeless.
He wanted in another community.
Yeah, because many homeless came from another community because every service send it to Lawrence. It's time to send it to a community. You know, when the state located a shelter in different community, homeless
Go to that
to
community.
another community. But every service send it to Lawrence. Shelter to Lawrence. Methadone clinic to Lawrence. That's the reason everybody came to another town for Lawrence, and that's time.
But that's what the police says, and I don't buy it. Isn't they come to Lawrence for the drugs? They don't come to Lawrence for the shelters or the programs. They come for the drugs. They stay because of the programs.
Listen. Let me. You're very intelligent. Me. You think only use drug? You know how many people, rich people, in this community can find the drug in his community? It's only the poor people looking for drug in the city of Lawrence.
Well,
People,
the rich people come to Lawrence to buy their drugs,
No,
and then they go
no.
back to their rich community and sell it there.
No.
Isn't that what you and the governor of New Hampshire
no.
talked about?
That's not true. That's
Okay.
not true. You know how many? You don't have idea how many people use drug in his community and buy in his community. Only the people don't have enough money, looking for drug in Lawrence. Believe me.
Okay.
You know
Hey,
how
it's
many-
your interview, not my interview, so your answer is the one that matters.
That's very important. That's very important. Ask to the state when the state of Massachusetts open Chester in another community, in rich community. It's time to do it because send every problem, the whole problem, send it to Lawrence because people looking for a benefit, methadone, psychology center, looking for everything in the city of Lawrence. It's time to looking for in another community. When the state doing reduce in 80% the population, homeless population in the city of Lawrence.
Last question. I'm just going to push back just a little bit because my answer doesn't matter. You're the mayor. You say the majority of the homeless in Lawrence aren't from Lawrence. But the majority of Lawrence citizens aren't from Lawrence either. And we provide services to them. The majority of the people in Lawrence who are Lawrence citizens aren't from Lawrence.
Okay.
They're from other communities, they're from the DR, they're from Puerto Rico, they're from Guatemala, Mexico, all over. So what's the difference? If we're going to provide services for the people who are Lawrence citizens, who have homes, who are not from Lawrence, why aren't we willing to spend the resources on the homeless who are here who are not from Lawrence?
Yeah, but you know what is the difference? The people come from another town or another country and not use drug, it's not homeless, pay taxes, doing good in the community, support benefit, support program, include homeless program. That's the people support because it's not problem because you came from another community. No. What are you doing when you came from another community in the city of Lawrence? That's a more important question, And no matter what country or what town you came from, Lawrence, what are you doing when you came for continued support, economic city, and different background?
Can you just do it in Spanish and then she's got a final question?
Ok, bueno, Tom pregunta que cuál es la diferencia entre los homeless que vienen de otra comunidad y la gente que busca servicios que no son homeless, bueno, diferentes, estas personas que vienen de otras comunidades o de otros países que no están homeless en las calles, muchos de ellos, o la mayoría, están buscando trabajo, aportan incluso a los beneficios que se le da a esas personas. Y es una diferencia muy grande cuando tú tienes una inmigración que viene a trabajar, que viene a soportar la comunidad, que quiere ver una comunidad diferente y que trabaja y lucha para que esa comunidad sea diferente a una gente cuando viene detrás de beneficios de droga. Incluso una gente que viene a la ciudad buscando ayuda para sus hijos es muy diferente a una gente que viene buscando estupefacientes o droga en las calles de Loren. Y eso, la diferencia es real.
So final quick question. Out of
Intern,
all
go with
the
a question.
okay, out of all the emergency shelters closing down this summer, are any of them in Lawrence?
¿Cómo fue?
So la gobernadora Healy planea cerrar muchos shelters de emergencia aquí en el estado. De todas esas emergency shelters, algunas están aquí en Lawrence. ¿Has escuchado algo del estado sobre eso?
No, in this moment I don't listen nothing about any shelter or any programs closed in Lawrence.
Okay.
You know, it's a federal government, reduced benefit for the state. It's clear,
Okay.
every year, does impact the small community, and that's include Lawrence.
Well,
In
thank you, Mayor.
Spanish, and we finish.
Sí, si los servicios son reducidos a nivel federal, claro, se va a impactar a las ciudades pequeñas como Loren, que van a haber reducido muchos de esos beneficios que reciben a través del Estado.
All right. Gracias.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Very good.
thank you.
Sorry for